Hi, for today's teardown we have here not less than 23.5 kilograms of military electronics goodness, the radio frequency control aid for the British Army Ptarmigan communication system. So this is just one module out of a radio relay truck. It will have a lot more modules. Check these photos on the links in the description below. So we have here British military equipment, but actually it was made in Germany by Siemens apparently. Super big and heavy, as I said, olive green box. Everything is in the front. No other stuff in the on the sides. And really nice stuff. So it is just the frequency control aid for radio channel. I will zoom on for you. So on this side here, built-in heatsink, a main electrical connector for the system, which is covered by a super hard to remove cap. Behind this plate, just one access to a trimmer or something like this, nothing interesting. But here we have on the bottom the informations. So it is called the radio frequency aid band 1, data stock number. So this is in English, but the other markings you can see. Serial number here 1497, and this information also on this plate. I got some paperwork with it. So repairable tag from the 34 base workshop Remy in 91, 3 September 91. It was part of a tri-feed truck. And here a serviceable tag from the same base in 92, and finally inventory tag from 98. Donington Det Stores Inspection Branch Remy. So it was last inventoried by the army in 98 apparently. Here on the top side we have the controls, so two big knobs you can rotate and it will adjust the frequency in the counter here. So one apparently for transmit and one for receive. You will notice we have no much markings on this thing, just numbers. Some indicator with a multifunction switch apparently that will allow you to check your voltages, your transmission power and things like this apparently. Here just brakes for to lock the buttons in place. On the right here main function switch maybe, and the antenna connectors, 3 of them, which are this particular kind of coax with very serious, you can see, covers, handles secured by metric Allen screws. About the screws, the case itself is secured by this particular kind of screws, which look like Bristol spline, oddly enough, or Torx more or less, and it appears luckily enough. Torx 35 will fit in, but it is not a common size. Really, most Torx sets will not have 35. Okay, before I open the cover for you, I will show you how these buttons are secured. So 3 screws that will come off and reveal a shaft like this. I believe it is not necessary to take them apart for the teardown, because actually everything is modular inside, and it will whatever this shaft is connected to will remain on the front plate of the radio. So maybe I will see, but I think I can leave it like this. And we will have a look at those indicator lights here. You have one here, and you have one here with, interestingly enough, 2 screws and red dots that seems to indicate you can remove the screws, like the cover screws just over it. So let's check what we have, if we have bulbs or something else. It is captive screws, by the way. A little cover like this. Very well made, with this screw, part number, and apparently we have LEDs. So we will try to figure out if it is a retrofit, and if originally you had bulbs, or if it is LEDs from the beginning. I believe it is early 80s equipment. We will try to find that codes anyway. And you can see 2 status indicators and 2 LEDs for the viewmeter down below. Okay, I will reinstall this cover, and now I will try to crack open the main cover. So about this main cover, before I remove it, pretty serious rubber rails here for stacking equipment apparently. One more manufacturer plate. The main case screws here are secured by these captive nuts, which are actually metal plates with a thread and 2 screws to secure them in place with a little bit of play. You can see, interesting. And everybody loves the beryllium hazard sticker. Very, very nice. Okay, now I have to figure out how to lift this cover, and we will discover what we have inside. So, apparently it is full and it is built like a tank. We have here 6 very, very serious boxes with main tuning devices, it seems, and electronics all around. Everything secured in what seems to be stainless steel frame brackets. Super serious connectors, big gears, a lot of auxiliary electronic boxes. It is just insane. So let me zoom in and we will have a first look. Where to start? Where to start? On this side, so we have, is it too much? Maybe? Not sure. Okay, we have a box here on the top, big coax connectors, here pretty complicated mechanical assembly, it seems. And here, secured to the front part with heatsink, apparently 3 modules. They are secured by these screws, which seem to be 8 millimeters, maybe, not 7. Is it 8 millimeters? Do I have a 8 millimeter wrench? I need to figure this out, by the way. We have here on this side, so it is symmetrical, so you have 3 modules on 3 on the other side. It is called the filter of bow, and we will see how far it is possible to take this apart. On the bottom here, the galvanometer assembly with this plate for the LEDs. So very well made, this circuit board, not easy to tell if it is retrofit or not. It might be a retrofit, but very nice wire harness and everything going to it. So very serious stuff, very good. We have on this side the main antenna connections to the front panel. Here you can see with these connectors, little box here, a number of these particular plugs, some kind of mini banana plugs. They come in male or female, so you cannot actually mix them. Here we have one male on this side, and the other black one will be female. Well, they are secured by these metal parts. So one shielded box here with interesting setup of apparently waveguide or coax going into the boxes here through this assemblies. You can see they did use regular coax plug socket with thread, but it is not used on just the middle piece, which is connected inside. Very interesting. If I turn this around, as I said, the other side here will be symmetrical. We can see a little bit of mechanical stuff for the front panel. Here, more electronic modules here. There is a PCB behind this cover here, and well, actually we do not see a lot further teardown. So for this I prepared a little disassembly procedure that will help me a little bit in the correct steps to take this apart. So stay with me. I will disassemble everything, and then hopefully we will be able to have a detailed look at all what we have in here. So, you know what? Believe I found the proper definition of a nightmare. It required very special tools that were even not enough, but it seems good. Everything is out of the frame, so I will put this super heavy part out of the way, and I believe now I will install the camera overhead, and we will first have a look at this front piece, and then at everything in the order of removal, because it will be easier for me. So we will start with this front panel assembly. As you did see, I had to flip open this part. We have a circuit board mounted in here, but sadly I cannot remove it completely easily because of all this stuff still mounted on it. Here is the piece with heatsink at the other side and with the 3 modules, which was very difficult to undo. So what we have remaining on this part, a lot of fingerprints, but they are not actually mine. I believe I will clean everything before I reassemble. A little board here at the bottom with just resistors and a trimmer. The connector for the circuit board we will see later. This does hinge open. You can see the particular wire harness here with some grey cloth around it. Not very usual. We have here a little plastic cover with what seems to be, yes, moisture absorption bag. Herman Chemier in Köln und Pat Mikkel. Molecular Sieb Nash. Okay. And with apparently an indicator paper that detects moisture. It is definitely pink, so not blue anymore, so it got moisturized. Okay, so this is a lead replacement unit, and most workshop replacement unit like this. What do we have else? We have still some mechanics attached to the front and going to the different modules. Here, as I said before, the plate with upgrade LED indicators. Another one here for the other indicator on the front. So still not sure if it is original or upgrade. Wafer switches, big coax going to the front panel. So you can see the plugs on the front panel are actually dual-sided. Another frame here, the needle indicator, and some mechanical boxes for the frequency adjusting buttons with brake mechanism here apparently. This that will move probably some shaft inside here and will block this wall mechanism. And you can see here we have some damage. Is it me? When I did try to take it apart previously one time, not sure, but we definitely have a bent shaft here. Actually it is pretty soft, this metal, so I can correct it if it does not break, and I will be very careful when reassembling. It seems quite good like this. Like this probably. Okay, what do we have else in here? So you can see the construction, of course, of super sturdy and thick casting of aluminium. We have apparently here some golden contacts that will make contact with the main module assembly. And it is all wire arrangement. I had to undo a wire clamp here in order to be able to access one bolt, because really difficult to access stuff in here. quite insane, and you can see we still have a lot of parts attached to the front, but I will not deal with it any further, this part. Another view at the front screws, Torx 35, more or less. They are branded Cobesta, K-O-B-E-S-T-A. Interesting, it is not every time you see a brand on a screw. Okay, so this is the first part. As you can see, really nicely made, super complicated and super tedious to take apart. Still a lot more screws secured to it, you can see, to secure these parts here, but I will not take this apart any further. Now we continue with the everything I did remove from it. And we start with this circuit board. Everything is branded ANT. So it is quite strange because I did read on the web it is made by Siemens, but no Siemens brand so far. Do we have date codes? Yes. 731 op amp here, made in Korea, date code of 85. 85 also on this transistor. Okay, nice. Golden leg op amp, by the way, one power transistor here, made in USA, 85. G2N, so military designation. So we have parts from everywhere apparently, because we have Korea, we have this is Motorola, so USA, at least one Siemens logo here, can you see it? So Germany. The relays are made in Italy, with a later date code, by the way, 87. So it replaced, it does not look like, so you can see there is some kind of a built-in heatsink here. Serial number on this module also. Nice EV gold plating on this connector, of course. And interesting vertical implantation of the resistors with little plastic tubes to secure them in place. Diodes also, like this. So what is called? Panel electro circuit. Okay, very self-explanatory. It does not tell what it does, but we have apparently some relays, op amps. So it one power transistor, but no big capacitor, so it is not power supply related for sure. Some servo control or something like this, or signal processing. Okay, this was the first part. Let's continue. We continue with this module called SD Ververst, whatever it means. So what do we have on here? We have two coax, 4 wires for power supply probably, serial number, and 6 screws each side. So which side do you think I need to undo? I have no idea. Let's try this one. I really hope to find beautiful stuff in them, by the way. Quite suspense, this thing. And one of the most tedious teardown I have done so far. There is another box from the British military which was billion screws or whatever you want. but this one is quite okay. We have one aluminium plate, one kind of mu-metal plate, and we have this. So sadly, it seems it is only half of a module, so I will need to undo the other cover. But what do we have in here? Little boards with, so is it transmitting stuff? Obviously high frequency transistors here. These might be the parts with the beryllium, because so far I have not seen anything suspicious for beryllium, so very handmade stuff with little coils on everything, like radio equipment, always the same stuff. Interesting. QN4420 and 4976, that code 83 on this one. Nice little diodes here. Okay. Oh, it was too much zoom in, maybe. It is the same stuff, you can see. So I will quickly reinstall one screw for this cover, and we will go to the other side. I was hoping only one side would be enough, but no, we might have more goodies in here, and we do not want to miss anything, because I am not going to take this apart again anytime soon. Believe me, when it is reassembled, it is for good, and I will even do it very cleanly, clean the parts and everything. Take my time actually to put it back together. So what do we have? Okay. The other side, one transistor here, these parts, whatever they are from the other side, some inductors and capacitors here, so very regular. Radio, receiver, transmitter, shielded boxes. Again, EV gold on these connectors and EV fingerprints. Okay, I will put this one back together and we go to the next one. We continue with here the Rich coupler. Very interesting module with a billion screws. But first, on this side, apparently, it seems we have, yes, 3 high frequency diodes. One N415D made by Microwave, General Microwave maybe. Gold contact here, brass contact here, gold contact in the middle. It is embedded in this socket with what seems to be maybe a ceramic capacitor disc here on the side. Cover like this. And again, 2 times the same stuff here. Well, similar at least. I believe this one will be the same model, and maybe this one will be smaller. We will find out. Okay, same thing here, and maybe same thing here again. So very nice parts for sure here. Yes, the same diode, but no without the capacitor thing on the side, so smaller tube to mount it. Okay. Now we have this cover, so I will maybe undo for my own convenience this coax because it is in the way, but I did leave it in place in order, there is a little bit of a damage here, in order to Do not forget where it was mounted. Okay, so here we have a billion screws to undo. That will reveal, I do not know what, but probably RF Voodoo. So just 1 second please. So you see it was really just 1 second. Let's undo the last screw and reveal, try to reveal, okay. We have a sandwich here, cover, same mu metal plate, circuit board material with complete gold coating on this side, and we have just some tracks like this. All this should come from the, yes, no, I do not know. No, they are not coming from the high frequency diodes, but I cannot take it apart any further because it is soldered in place. But you can see very nice gold plated tracks here. So this is a Voodoo. This is actually a component here of some kind here also. Very nice. You can see the cutouts they made here to accommodate the other parts here. Maybe we have more tracks like this on the other side, maybe not, but anyways I cannot take it apart any further. This teardown will be long enough. I do not want to start unsoldering too many stuff, and it could be difficult to reinstall anyways. I see there is another mu metal plate behind. Okay, so really nice stuff for sure. Look at this, it fits just perfectly. Wow. The plate here with a little cutout for the wires, of course. Power supply wire probably. And okay. And just 2 or 3 screws to reinstall and we can go to the next module. So let's do it. Off camera, of course, because I do not want to bother you too much. So we directly jump to the next module. Real quick, this mechanical module with gears, I did draw lines in order to keep them aligned. It is called the Antrib. It is connecting the 3 modules with heatsink, because we have mechanical stuff going in them. Okay, next, this little box which was secure to the front coax connectors with, you can see, nice gold contact and a very serious O-ring in here, and it is called the DC block modification record, and 4 super tiny screws here that I hope will reveal the contents. Only 1 wire going to it for probably power supply, considering the ground will be supplied by the case itself. Okay, we have 1 capacitor, 1 feed-through connector, maybe capacitive, 1 coil, and 1 high frequency material circuit board at the back, connecting in series this connector through a capacitor. Okay, and you can see this is actually bolted in here with an access screw on the top, which seems interesting. So I will just reinstall 1 screw for this cover for now and try to undo this. Okay, just access to solder point. So you could, this is where you will solder the contact coming from here to here with some kind of seal here around the cover. Radio frequency seal in metal. So really nice stuff. Beautiful quality, of course. Okay. We have one next cover module here, which was mounted on the side of a big main assembly. EM Vorwärts. So again, one cover each side. Which one to undo? Not sure. Let's try this one. Okay, super long screw here actually. Not what I was expecting. Look at this. Again, covers here, probably to access the connections for these coax. Yes, apparently. More of them here. So really. RF Voodoo loaded stuff for sure. This one is extra long and there is something. Gold, I see gold. I see a little piece mounted over it. Huh. Is it a high frequency diode maybe? Yes. Wow. Super miniature high frequency diode. Okay. So small there is not even numbers on it. Okay, but enough distractions. Let's continue with this cover. At least it is not necessary to undo the other side because we have everything here, and you can see these two circuit boards with some coils, transistors, capacitors. Apparently this weird thing here must be a capacitor, glass, maybe vacuum capacitor I believe. Another one here, in fact more of them here and here. And you can see the insane number of screws securing these boards. Wow. Bolts here for these parts. Here a cover for unused connector hole, plunking cover. Yes, probably vacuum capacitors here. I see glass tube, you can see. I will try to zoom in for you. Obviously here you have glass with metal inside, so some kind of very fancy capacitors. Okay, and also here ceramic disc capacitors without a coating on them, just like this. Silver plating and directly soldered on the other side probably. Okay, so really cool stuff. I will put this back together and we continue. Next, this called the SD Verst 1. Okay. So we have a mechanical link going to it from the plate here. We have some kind of high frequency thing here, probably attenuator with this connector, other connector here, a lot of adjustments, and again one cover with fingerprints, not mine. So let's undo it. So are you ready for a big reveal? Okay. So as always, new metal plate. shielding, and we have, wow, this is pretty, this is beautiful. Apparently this link gives to a worm screw here that will adjust this air capacitor, gold plated air capacitor, of course. And even the mechanical link here is gold plated. Power transistor here, well, high frequency transistor, some air mount parts here, Siemens capacitor, coils, and met coils, okay. A little bit how you're doing, here you can see this leg of the transistor was not trimmed, it is just hanging like this. Some other thing here, not sure what it is, maybe ceramic resistor, weird. The more of these disc capacitors also here soldered directly. Okay. Oh, they did use some, look at this, not even a wire, some like solder braid like this. Okay, interesting. Very nice part here, by the way. Really, I was not expecting this. So still the beryllium must be located in the transistors because I do not see anything suspicious for beryllium. Maybe this ceramic plate. Okay, next module actually is pretty much similar, yet a little bit different. So I will open this one now. This one is called the FreeSD Verstarter, so I believe it is the word for amplifier on serial number. Of course, I see already a nice gold pin here from a high frequency transistor, and yes, quite similar, except we have more plates in this capacitor, and the transistor here is different. So here is, excuse me, first one, second one. Little bit bent wall here, by the way. Wow, really, this is cool. Okay, super nice high frequency transistor here with this. For some reason, they did use this particular slotted nuts, not regular nuts. Why? And yes, these screws here were a pain to access because you can see you can only access this one in particular from the side with a wrench, but not from the top. And it is quite a few turns, so really here also really complicated to undo. And this one is more or less stuck for some reason. I need to loosen a little bit maybe this plate. They are captive screws mounted with a plate like this. Yes, it is better. Okay, so you can see really fancy stuff in here. So I will reassemble this cover and we continue. We continue with this particular module, the Richtungstalizer, which is actually magnetic. So we have a coax going in here, we have some weird part here, and this is adjustment for the mechanical plate, so nothing special here. Another coax, this thing, and nicht demontieren, niet demonteren, do not dismantle. Danger for weakening of magnetic field. So, how to take it apart? Apparently the case is soldered here together, and previously I lost a washer, and actually it is here. It was attracted by the magnet. Okay. So, how to take it apart? This do not dismantle box. This is soldered together. So it looks like I will need to undo the wire here, wire connector on the thing here, the wire clamp, in order to allow, possibly, maybe, to unscrew this and pull, because actually I do not see any thing else that could happen. Wow, this one is tight, so there is some kind of a magnetic magics happening in here. Klystron maybe, Klyston, magnetron. Not sure, so will it come off or not? Yes. Oh. So, here just a box. And we have, oops, it looks like, not sure, oops, okay, actually I am not sure if this part is correctly mounted, yes, because it is soldered here and secured here, so it is normal, so it must be an adjustable magnet of some description that will allow to adjust something magnetically. And we have here a number of discs. New metal maybe. So another big magnet here on the side, big ferrite kind of magnet. Not neodymium, luckily enough, because it could be quite a dangerous one. And we have, not sure if it will come apart, could be quite complicated, but we have apparently, yes, some kind of a wave guide action going in here. Maybe actually this, yes, easier than expected. Again, you can see a lot of fingerprints, not expected. So this, I do not know, I am not sure, but we have screws. And no more magnets, so it will be not too difficult. And apparently not too dangerous also. Safety first, safety first. Okay, we have little spacers down here. We have okay, okay, and no lock here because you can see we have soldered cover here. Shielding cover, but soldered on the side, so I will not be able to, and it will require a blowtorch to melt this solder, given the thermal mass of the thing, and I do not want to damage it any further. You can see very special parts here, more of this weird discs with also a hole. So this was like so, I believe, or the other way around, no, like this, with fingerprints. Really weird stuff. For sure it is the first time I see something like this. I have no idea what I am dealing with here. Somebody will probably comment and tell, yes, it's that thing, that kind of component, but for me it is quite mysterious. Wow. Very interesting, and I do not know if fingerprints are factory, I do not think so. But as you did see, I did not take it apart previously, and we found the fingerprints. So really interesting here. Why? Quite something. A big mystery for sure. Okay, I will do something immediately while I am putting it back together with you. It is cleaning everything like this. Much better. Look at this. Wow. So here we have this part. Oops. Such. Other side. The other magnets. Like so, okay, and it goes in the main box like so. Oops, such. Okay, it was less delicate and complicated than expected, at least. Let's put it back together and we will continue with the main module. Oh, one more thing I did notice while I am putting this back together, this module. It is actually the wires here, what they are for. We have in here 2 micro switches. So apparently there is something that is adjustable, that will move, and we have 2 micro switches and 1 resistor. So it is for some kind of a position feedback of the thing. Ah yes, it is this magnet that will move in and out actually. When this turns, it will adjust the position of the magnet and it will do whatever magics it is supposed to do. Very interesting. So, finally, the last part, made of what seems to be 6 modules, all very seriously bolted together, as you can see. On the front here we have 2 frequency indicators, which should be set at 220 exactly, like this. I did also mark the gears in order to be able to reinstall almost in the correct initial position, I hope. And we have a sandwich of 2 parts. Really complicated, this thing. I will do an extra mark here for reassembly. Well, it is 2 times 3. I am trying to figure out how to take this apart. Apparently, I am not sure about those screws here. How long are they? Maybe not. Let's try. Because I need first to undo the 2 layers, and then maybe I will be able to access the internals and discover more gold plated air capacitors, more Voodoo, no idea. We have not a lot of electrical connections on this thing, apart from these 2 contacts here that were contacting the golden spring contacts on the case. Apparently here a bunch of adjustment screws. So I didn't do 3 screws here. Does it do anything? Not sure. I have at least extra screws here to undo. This I am sure they are contributing to the whole assembly, but again very tedious to undo and very complicated, as you can see, because they are not turning freely. They are X-head screws, but they are rubbing with the case here, and not the easiest thing to take apart for sure. This thing, I do not know if I will be even able to undo them completely, or if yes, it is really a luck, because the screws here at the end, I do not know what it is for, so I cannot undo it now. And okay, quite lucky here. So does it come off or not, this thing? Try not to do any damage. It looks like there is actually more stuff in the middle between the two modules. I was not expecting this. So let's finish with these long screws. As you can see, no shortage of screws here. Again, completely overbuilt. Okay, what are we getting now? Still no idea. It seems it might be not be so easy. I have no clue of how it is supposed to come apart. It looks like it is still pretty well put together, but I do not believe any of the screws here do contribute for this. They are adjustments, so, and here in the middle maybe I have extra screws. Yes. Yes. Here. So this should help. Now it is coming. When the screw will be completely off, at least. I have no idea. Okay, so again 2 long screws. And here is what we have. Let's start with this half. So you can see each time the gears here connected with one screw to internal adjustments, all stacked together like this. So how to access the contents? It looks like there is no other choice than undoing a billion more screws. 7mm each, so I will probably not take all of them apart, but first a look at the other unit here. More complicated, as you can see, because we have a coax going in like such. We have a long worm screw here. We have the electrical contacts doing something here, not sure what. The wires going to this golden plate. A pretty serious reinforcement here. Wow. This thing is just completely crazy, guys. So I will try to undo, not sure which one, because this cover here has coax, so it might be annoying. I am not sure what I will find. I will maybe start with the other side here, with apparently no electrical connection. And here, as you can see, this is just a deal of undoing a number of hard to reach screws, like such. So let me deal with it, I will be right back. So 3 hours later, I am going anywhere or not. It looks like maybe, but there is, oops, try not to de-align everything if possible, thanks. It looks like, not even sure about this one, by the way. It looks like we have, where is it? Here, a lock pin of some description, alignment pin. Okay, we are good, we are good. And here is what we have for this side, at least. Some weird contraption of air capacitor, like such. And I can see through the holes here we have exactly the same thing in all the 3 modules, on this side at least. So on this side I know it will not be necessary to take it apart any further, luckily enough, because as you can see it is already pretty insane. I had to undo a mechanical piece here to access a screw. So if I can avoid undoing too many stuff, it will be good. I am not even sure of which way I need to reassemble this part here. Completely crazy, this thing. Okay, like this apparently, I guess. Seems good, yes. Okay. Okay, so I will put back this one together, this cover, and we will try to dig a little bit further in the other one, which seems to be a little bit different and more complicated. Even this is not necessary to undo because we did see what it is. Yes, it is a connection here to the inductor here. Okay. So really this thing is mainly a giant box of adjustable capacitors. Completely overbuilt. Okay, let me put this side together and we continue with the last part. So all this one, I believe it will be more interesting to undo this side if possible, because of this. I am not sure what to expect here, but we will find out. Anyways, if it was put together, it must be possible to take it apart. So let's check out this thing. So I hope I am not doing a big mistake here. Currently the connector is secured by a coil, okay, more or less springy. That will allow me at least to show you what I do not want to pull too much, but you can see the same kind of thing, a cam shaped air capacitor here. Really weird, and it is all, and obviously according to the mechanics I can see outside, we have the same thing in the 3 compartments. Okay, so just a bunch of adjustable air capacitors. As you can see here, I did screw it in to be able to reach the screw, but we have tuning set screws that will finally set and modify the capacitance of the thing apparently. Very fine tuning for sure here. Okay, so I will try to put this back together. So just this cover is already 10 screws. So if you want to have fun, you can try to count the number of screws just on these 6 modules, because I believe it is just completely crazy, completely insane. So I believe this will conclude this video. Now I am set for tedious reassembly. Try to put it as best as I can in original condition, because it is for sure a collectible item. Very interesting. So this part here, I found this part, plastic. Apparently it comes from here. It is to protect, yes, this piece of rigid coax, more or less. Okay, so just a few screws to reassemble and a few hours of editing, and you will get this video, hopefully. A beautiful item, really. Happy with this purchase. It was, I believe, 100 British pounds. Not cheap, but given the quality, really still a good deal. And it is also quite rare to find them, these units. And the other ones I did see online are much more expensive, and sometimes in worse condition. So, thanks for watching, bye bye!